Today is November 3rd, 2021. This is our monthly Micro-Influencer Magic Lunch and Learn. I'm your host, Candice Rodarty. So today's topic is living the grateful life. I'm going to start by telling you a story. Back in 1998, 99, my husband and I launched an online custom furniture business. And we had a web host. She was a work-at-home mom that lived in South Carolina or North Carolina, one of those Carolinas. And she did a great job. She's a great web designer. She worked at home, but she had some issues that came up and she needed to sell her business. So I bought it from her. That was probably around 2002, 2003. No, it was 2001, because that's how old my website is. So my website, momgeek.com, is 20 years old. So I bought her web design business from her. I bought the domain name momgeek.com because at the time I was a mom. I had a young kid at home and I was a geek. I was going to do some web design work and some web hosting. So Mom Geek sounded like a great name. And then I proceeded to run this web design and web hosting business. It was mostly hosting. I subcontracted the web design. I mean, I knew how to do web design, but it was easier just to have somebody else do it. And so I held on to that business until about 2008. And then I was like, the furniture business was a lot of work. I couldn't do both. So I sold the web hosting and design business, but I kept momgeek.com because it was me. Like, I was Mom Geek. At that point, I'd been Mom Geek for 10 years or 8 years or however long it'd been, right? The website just sat there and did nothing because it was just empty. I mean, I wasn't doing anything with it. And then I was introduced to send out cards. And I decided that I would use the momgeek.com website as a blog. So I could blog about relationship marketing, which wasn't even called relationship marketing back then. It was just greeting card marketing, right? So I decided I was going to use the Mom Geek website for that. But I didn't quite think that Mom Geek was the best name for a greeting card business. So I said, well, Gratitude Geek sounds great. I'll just buy Gratitude Geek and I'll point at Mom Geek and I'll just, use the Gratitude Geek name. I wasn't a Gratitude Geek. It was just a name that I bought for myself. I was a Girl Scout leader, and I'd been a Girl Scout leader for 10 years. So this is probably 2010 or 2011 at this point. I'd done a lot of really cool things for Girl Scouts. Like, they had no leadership, and I had a wine and cheese party, and all of a sudden we had leadership. So I had worked really hard with Girl Scouts, and they started to do end of year ceremonies and give Leader of the Year awards, right? So after 10 years, my daughter said she didn't want to be a Girl Scout anymore. And I was leaving Girl Scouts because I wasn't going to be a leader anymore. If my daughter didn't want to be a Girl Scout, I wasn't going to be a leader. So I was leaving Girl Scouts. And I just assumed that I was going to get the Girl Scout Leader of the Year award, the Outstanding Leader of the Year award. I just assumed. So we're going through a ceremony. This is my last ceremony. I think I'm going to leave with a big hurrah. And when they went to announce the person who was receiving the award, it became very evident within the first sentence that it wasn't going to be me. They gave the award to a brand new leader. But after 10 years, I didn't get the Outstanding Leader award. I left Girl Scouts, went on with my life. So I felt a little deflated about it. So I decided that rather than be deflated, I was moving on with my life. I knew what I had done, but most of the leaders there didn't know what I had done because they, first grade leaders of first grade troops have no idea what the leaders of the 10th grade troops have done 10 years ago. They just don't, because they weren't around then. So I just left knowing that I had done good work for the Girl Scouts, but I wanted to leave on a high note. So I sent thank you cards and gifts to the women who had organized the end of year ceremony and just thanked them. I just thanked them. Neither of them ever acknowledged that I'd sent them the card. Neither of them ever acknowledged that I'd sent them the gift, but I did it. I put it out there in the world and I moved on with my life. So I left that part of my life behind, but I did it on a grateful note, right? And I moved forward. Still, Gratitude Geek was not who I was. It was just something I called myself. But eventually, over time, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I started to actually put into practice everything that I'm about to share with you today. And I became Gratitude Geek. So I called myself Gratitude Geek for years before I actually lived Gratitude Geek. And that is lesson number 1 today. So let's do some introductions. Introductions are always USP style, unique selling proposition style, where we start with, hi, my name is, I live in the city and state you live in, the people that you help, and then what you help them do, and the end result that happens. So that looks like, hi, my name is Candace. I live in Muskegon, Michigan, and I help micropreneurs find their micro-influencer magic so they attract the right buyers to their products and services.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Di Hilstad. I am calling in from a very wet Vancouver, British Columbia, 2 hours south of Seattle, for those of you who don't know Canadian geography. And I help female, I want to say wannabe entrepreneurs discover their businesses that are lurking inside of them, or help existing entrepreneurs rebrand and focus on their existing business. So that they can be successful and shine.
Hi, my name is Wendy Kuhn. I live in Grand Haven, Michigan, and I help originators in credit unions help fill their gap of the mortgages that they can offer their members so they can help more people and make more money.
Look at you narrowing your niche. All right, if you're late to the meeting, you didn't get to introduce yourself. Don't be late. You never want to be late to one of my lunch and learns. All right, moving on. So today's topic is gratitude. We're going to cover what gratitude is, why it's so powerful, and how you can cultivate it in your life. I'm going to be very honest with you up front that we're only going to be able to cover 2 parts of this training today. The third part is going to be another training. And you can tell me at the end of the training if you want me to do it in December or March. So today's expectation is that I'm going to offer you so much value in today's free class that you're going to want to join my 30-day gratitude challenge Facebook page. That's it. And that's free. So I'm not even asking you for money. All right. So what have we learned so far? You get to create your own story. You can just define your own story. Your unique selling proposition is a simple 4-sentence template, and I hope you use that template to describe what you do to other people. And it's always a good idea to set expectations up front so that people know what to expect from something that you're offering, no matter what you do, sales, relationships, whatever. I mean, if you set the expectation up front with your spouse that you expect to receive flowers once a month, well, you're going to receive flowers once a month. All right. So we're just getting started, and I've already taught you 3 things. So are you ready to move on to the real meat of what we're going to do today? We're going to talk about gratitude. So what's the difference between someone who is always happy and has a zest for life and someone who is always grumpy? Now, I'm going to just apologize up front. I didn't even realize that I had picked a picture of an older person and a younger person. I just picked a picture of a happy person and a grumpy person. And then I realized, oh, so youth is not a determining factor in whether or not you can be a happy person, right? That's not a determining factor. Youth is not a determining factor. So neither is really money. I mean, does money ever make anybody happy? I mean, it can help you buy things, but there are lots of poor people who are happy. And personality doesn't necessarily, I mean, there's a lot of happy people out there who are not happy, but bubbly people who aren't really grateful. And circumstances, no. So all those things play a role, but the primary factor of what makes the difference between a person who is happy and you want to be around and someone that you don't want to be around is whether or not they're grateful, right? It's whether or not you feel appreciated when you're around them. So if you feel appreciated around somebody, well, you want to be around them more. And if you feel like you're just being used by them, why would you want to be around them? So what is gratefulness? Well, if you think long and hard about it, you probably haven't thought about gratefulness lately, right? If you think long and hard, when was the last time you actually wondered, what is gratefulness? Here's what best-selling author Melody Beattie says. She says that gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. So she actually wrote the book, The Language of Letting Go, which was back in the 70s. So, I mean, this concept about gratitude, using gratitude has been around for a long time. Ooh, Di, you have that quote in your office. I love it. All right. So gratitude is a way of living. It is a state of being which you open yourself up to receive good things from the universe. It's a posture of being open and receptive and willing. And when you're open to receive, you instinctively and you consistently give thanks. So it is being open and allowing yourself to receive. That seems a little counterintuitive, right? Because if you're not open to receive, shouldn't you be grateful? But anyway, let's go on. Okay, it's not a one-time event where you say thank you. It is a state of being, right? It's a state of being. It's a perpetual way of life. It's almost like breathing. So you can breathe in something good and breathe out gratitude. Oh my God, that's a great mantra. I breathe in goodness and I breathe out gratitude. Oh, let me teach you something. All right, so this is not a prayer. It's actually a wrist exercise, but it goes like this, right? You go and you open up your hands and then you bring them back into prayer mode, into resting prayer mode. All right. I'm open to receive and I am grateful. I am open to receive and I am grateful. This is a great exercise for your wrists it's a great exercise for your wrists if you're on the computer all the time, but it's also a good exercise to feel gratefulness in your heart. All right. Everything happens for a reason. And in every circumstance, there are valuable things for us to learn. And these valuable things help us advance in life, primarily in character, because all things contribute to our moving forward. We must live a life of gratefulness for all things to come, for all good things to come our way. All right. Gratitude. It's a recognition of receiving. So when you're grateful, it means, hey, I've received it and I appreciate it. And it doesn't work just, that's not just true for tangible items. It's true for emotions and feelings. And, if you go outside and the breeze is blowing and you can smell the leaves and it just, okay, true story. Every time I got out of the car when we were in Nantucket, we just got back from Nantucket a couple weeks ago. Every time I got out of the car in Nantucket in the evening, I would breathe in the air because it smelled like California. It had a bay leaf smell. In California, you can smell the bay leaf trees. And it just made me feel so relaxed and at peace. It's just that little thing. I was so grateful for the smell of the air. I think it had something to do with the salt air and the bay leaves. Just so grateful. So it's not just tangible things, it's intangible things too. I was grateful for the smell. It's also gratitude is also distinctly different from earning something. So you aren't grateful for you when you work really hard, you earned it. So you can be grateful because you worked really hard, but it's more of a response to gratitude is a response. It's not being proud of yourself because you earned something. It's feeling thankful because you experienced something. Gratitude is also an affirmation of goodness. In other words, it's recognizing that not only have we received something freely, but we have received it and it's good. It's good. So we feel grateful. Great. Gratitude is good. Do you remember that movie, Wall Street? I think it was called Wall Street. And one of the characters said, greed is good. That's not true. Gratitude is good. Okay, so when we focus and affirm goodness, it takes our focus off the things that we don't like about our lives. And gratefulness is like a magnifying glass that highlights the good in our lives and minimizes the things that we're unhappy about. So it lets us see the good things that we have in our lives. So when you appreciate what you already have, you have more to appreciate. But when we're not grateful, we become very discontent and unhappy. So what's the opposite of gratefulness? The opposite of gratefulness is complaining, discontent, envy, anger, frustration, thanklessness, unhappiness. And let me tell you, you cannot be angry or envious or discontent at the same time that you are grateful. Gossip too. All right. You cannot feel any of those emotions at the same time as gratitude. So why not feel gratitude? Because it just doesn't leave space for anything else. So when you feel grateful, you just can't feel those other feelings of envy, anger, discontentment. So if you find yourself feeling any of those emotions, guess what? Start thinking about the things that you're grateful for. If I'm feeling envious of somebody else, I need to start thinking about the things that I'm grateful for right now. And then the envy will go away. Just like that story I told you about the Girl Scouts. The power of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It's a big statement, but when you tap into the power of gratitude, incredible things begin to happen. Things that you never expected to happen. Like I never expected that when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, that all of a sudden a housekeeper was going to show up at my house and start cleaning my house for a year. I never expected that, but boy, did I appreciate it. That's another story for another time. So here's some other things that happen when you're feeling grateful. You attract good things. So the law of attraction isn't just like attracts like, it's an emotional vibrational thing. So I don't like that like attracts like definition of the law of attraction, because you have to be intentional and purposeful and powerfully focused when you're using the law of attraction. Because if you're not, you're going to attract something similar. Like attracts similar, right? So you have to be really laser focused on how you use the law of attraction. On the other hand, if you're negative, you complain and you're envious, we've covered this. You're going to attract all that shit into your life. So you don't want any of that. So just be grateful. All right. So if you want to position yourself to receive only good things in your life, then start building the habit of gratefulness. And we're going to cover a little bit of that at the end. So when you're grateful, you experience greater happiness. This is science. Science has proven that a grateful person is happier overall. In fact, one study showed that being consistently grateful had the same impact on happiness as doubling your overall income. Okay, so you could get the same results in terms of happiness from just being grateful today as you would if you doubled your income. That's pretty phenomenal. When we're grateful, we're focused on the good things that are happening in our lives and the positive things, and we're not wasting our energy on the bullshit, right? Our energy is devoted to being thankful for the wonderful life that we have, rather than the few things that we wish we had, the few things that we want, right? Gratefulness is a loop of happiness. When we're grateful, we feel happy. So then we're more grateful, so we feel happier. It's cyclical. It's a loop. It's wonderful. It's like a vitamin. Just start practicing gratitude every day and you'll be happier. So when you're grateful, your relationships deepen. So in 2014, they did a study, and when you say thank you to someone, it makes them want to be around you more. So a scientific study, when you say the words thank you, or when you thank people, it makes them want to be around you. So then you have more relationships. I mean, any of you who ever sent a thank you card to somebody and then saw that person again or talked to that person again, you know that they feel differently about you after receiving the thank you card than they did before. You know it. Thanking someone feels good and it makes them feel good. And it's just a beautiful loop thing. Gratefulness is also magnetic. So there's a positive, we've talked about this energy before. And you can think it's heebie-jeebie stuff if you want, but there is an energy in the world. And when you thank someone, you're exchanging positive energy between the two of you. So do you want to be around someone who's constantly putting out positive energy and gratefulness? Yeah, you're attracted to those positive, grateful people, right? So if you want people to be attracted to you, put out positivity and gratitude, right? Start becoming a magnet to those kind of people in your life. Guy's right. Thank you, not just thanks. Emphasizing the you. Oh, that is a good point. Don't just say thanks, say thank you. That's a really good point, Di. I love it that I can see the chat today. I'm reading the chat today, but thank you for adding that. Okay, so gratitude makes you healthier. Science again, it's not just a state of mind, it has a real direct positive impact on our bodies. So grateful makes us healthier in a number of ways, and let's go over a couple of them. So in one study, participants are asked to count their blessings or their burdens. Holy crap, get this. Okay, so If they counted their blessings, they had 16% fewer symptoms. They spent 19% more time exercising. So if you have trouble getting your butt on the elliptical, Candace, why don't you be thankful that you have the elliptical so that you can get on it, and maybe you'll spend 19% more time exercising. So you feel about 10% less physical pain, you get about 8% more sleep, and you have a 25% increase in sleep quality. So being grateful before you go to bed can help you sleep better. Isn't that phenomenal? Those are phenomenal results. Clearly, gratitude is very powerful in promoting health. When we're grateful, we're actively putting out positive energy into the universe, and that energy comes back in health. So if we're constantly putting out negative energy, it's not healthy. It's just not healthy. So, and grateful people are more optimistic. I mean, this is a no-brainer, right? If you're more grateful, you're more optimistic. So here's the science behind that. People who keep a weekly gratitude journal showed a 5% increase in optimism, and those who kept a daily gratitude journal had a 15% increase in optimism. Science. All right, so what you focus on expands. I mean, come on, we know this. We know this. If you focus on the things that you're grateful for, you'll get more things to be grateful for. We know this. We don't need to beat this with a drum. We know this instinctively. All right, when I started counting my blessings, my whole life turned around. This is Willie Nelson. I love this quote. So if you want to turn around your life, if you've got crappy things going on in your life right now, just start being thankful and grateful and optimistic for the things that you have today. And of course, your mental health improves. So let's just break this down. So when you're grateful, you're more emotionally resilient, you feel better, you deal with fewer toxic emotions, you're more relaxed, you're more optimistic, you're less focused on material things, you're more spiritually connected, you're less self-centered, and you have more self-esteem. And remember, self-centered and self-esteem are not the same thing. Self-centered is all you care about is yourself. Self-esteem means that I'm a great person, so I'm going to give good things to the world. That's the difference between those two things. All right, so your gratefulness has a direct impact on your overall personality. And if you want to have a positive, attractive personality, you would be wise to focus on being grateful. The great paradox: the more grateful you are, the more likely you are to work harder to produce more good in your life, because you're already optimistic about what efforts you approve. So being grateful means that you're going to work harder to do more. There's so many positive things about being grateful. Okay, so obviously you're starting to see the incredible power of gratitude. Gratitude can strengthen your health, enhance your personality, deepen your relationships, increase your overall levels of happiness, and so much more. It's a game changer, right? So now here's what you really want to know. You want to know how you can cultivate gratitude. I'm about to go over it in 1 minute. And then we're going to do this class again, where I actually dig deep into how you cultivate gratitude. So gratitude is for the present moment and the fullness of life now is a true prosperity. That's Eckhart Tolle. So how do you cultivate gratitude? Number 1, keep a gratitude journal. And we said if you do it daily, you have you're 15% more optimistic and happy. So daily gratitude journal. Seriously, all you have to do is grab a book and write down one thing you're grateful for every night before you go to bed. Today, I am grateful for my blanket. Seriously, just start with something that simple, and the list will get longer as time goes on. So keep a gratitude journal. Recite gratitude affirmations or afformations. You guys know that I prefer the affirmation format, which is why am I or how am I, rather than saying I am grateful. Why am I so grateful? And then your brain starts to churn out answers to that question. Constantly say thank you. Just say thank you all the time. Thank you. Somebody brings you the check after eating a meal. Thank you. Pay your toll. Thank you. Just say thank you all the time, because the act of saying the word fires off those neurons. And then look for reasons to be grateful. Like I said before, if you're feeling snarky, think, okay, give me something to be grateful for. Why am I grateful right now? I'm looking out my window at beautiful leaves that are turning different colors, fluffy clouds, and a blue sky. How can I not feel a sense of gratitude looking out my window right now? It's beautiful. develop an abundance mindset. Now, this is a tough one, but if you are, if you believe that you have more than enough, then you have more than enough. So that abundance mindset is so important. Live in the moment. Don't think about the past. Don't think about the future. Be present and grateful for the time that you are spending right now. Thank you for being here today with us. Thank you for being in this moment right now. And then write thank you notes. I mean, seriously, guys, the power of writing a thank you note is so cathartic. And a lot of times when you're done writing that note and you drop it in the mail, it's done for you because it's off your to-do list. It's off of you've said the words that need to be said and it's off, but you've set out ripples into the world that you'll never know what those ripples do. You'll never know because no one will, they probably never will tell you. But when someone receives that card in the mail, they're going to feel gratitude and then they're going to do something nice for somebody and it's going to keep going and going and going. It's the ultimate pay it forward. So write thank you notes. Try to do it every day like Wendy does. All right. So who do you write thank you notes to? People who have inspired you, people who have taught you something, friends who have helped you through tough times, and people that you love. So saying thank you to others, it makes them want to spend more time around you. So send thank you cards to the people that you want to hang out with, right? I love this quote. Saying thanks are the highest form of thought and that gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. That's Gilbert C. Chesterton. I love that quote. All right. So the power of a grateful life. Once you are living this grateful life, things start to supercharge. So your superpower is your gratitude, right? So your health improves. You live in a state of constant optimism. You attract good things. You experience greater happiness. Your relationships improve. We've covered this. Your personality strengthens. You're more spiritual and so much more. Gratitude is a superpower, but in order for you to truly tap into the enormous power, you need to begin living a life of gratefulness and to go through your daily giving thanks. Go through your day giving thanks for all the good things you have received and will receive. Honestly, say thank you for the things that you receive, that you're going to receive. Be an appreciation of the things that you're going to receive, not just the things you've already received, because then you'll receive them quicker. It does take practice. It's not easy, but it's incredibly valuable work. And it's the kind of work that changes your life, just like it changed mine, right? When I sent those 2 cards to those 2 Girl Scout leaders, it allowed me to move on, to move forward in life and not look back. Now I keep telling the story, but I'm not telling the story because I feel sadness or anger about what happened. I tell the story because it was a pivotal moment in my life. It was one of those trajectory changing moments of your life. It was when I realized that all I needed to do was be grateful. So don't wait any longer. Start being your superpower. So here's what I would love for you to do. I set this expectation at the beginning of the meeting. I would love for you to join the 30-Day Gratitude Challenge Facebook group. It's at Growth Through Gratitude Challenge on Facebook. It's pretty easy to find. So if you just type in 30-Day Gratitude Challenge or Growth Through Gratitude Challenge, it'll pop up. So what happens in that Facebook group, and it is that every day there's a prompt of someone to send a card to. You read the prompt, you send the card, you write a little note, a little comment on the post that says, I did it, and you move on with your day. And just every day, it gives you a prompt to someone to send a card to. And it doesn't matter. There's no start and stop date. So you can join any day, do it for 30 days, and then you're done. Or you can just keep going because there's a new prompt every day. The prompts cycle through 90. There's a 90-day cycle with the prompts. I don't send them. I've automated the page. So there's 90 posts. So it doesn't matter when you drop in, you're not going to get a duplicate post. So because there's 90 of them. So every 90 days, the posts start over. All right. So just get the daily prompts and send out the thank you card. I mean, you don't have to use send out cards. You can use whatever greeting card that you want to use, but send out cards is a great option. You just write it out, drop it in the mail and get it sent. But the thing is, let's make sure they get sent. Make sure they get sent. Toolbox. Here's the tools we talked about today. We talked about send out card. I always have to cover the tools. So we talked about send out cards, which is a greeting card and gift app that you can use from your phone or your website, and you can send cards, and they're printed stuff, stamped and mailed for you. So you don't have to go to the store or go to the post office. All of it's done for you. And then the 30-day gratitude challenge Facebook group. So if you go to momgeek.com/tools, there's links to both of those. And then January 5th, very exciting. We have author Brian Hilliard. He's the author of the best-selling book, Networking Like a Pro. He'll be teaching our January 5th Lunch and Learn. And our February 2nd Lunch and Learn is going to be taught by Carol Clegg. And she's going to teach us how to use Trello to organize our lives. I don't know. Even if she teaches me how to use Trello, I'm not sure whether or not I can do it. But it'll be a good, fun training. All right. If you want the replay for today, you can join the free Marketing Coffee Club. It's at marketing-coffee-club.mn.co. And the Marketing Coffee Club does have a paid option. It's the Micro Influencer Magic program where we do group coaching and marketing. Marketing Lab is where we take your marketing ideas and we really focus and work on them. It's like a mastermind for marketing. I love it. If you need to get a hold of me, here's my digital business card. And that's it for today.